Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to a session of Canvas Live. Canvas Live sessions are presented by Canvas community members or instructor employees to help Canvas users improve and enhance their teaching and learning with Canvas. Today we have Ryan from Skyline College. He is I'll let him introduce himself, but he is training the Skyline students to transition into Canvas and leverage Canvas and enhance their usage there as well. And so we have the unique opportunity to stop in and watch what a student training session looks like. So I'm going to just turn it over to Ryan, and he will introduce the session and the agenda for the students at Skyline College who are watching, as well as the Canvas community members. Ryan?
Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Ryan Sam. I'm in the instructional aid here at Skyline College located in San Bruno. San Bruno is a small suburb of San Francisco for those of you tuning in from other states. And for all our local Skyline College students, welcome to this first online workshop that we will be giving. The online workshops are an online version of the in-person workshops that we offer here at our library upstairs in 5200A. If you are interested in those workshops, we will have information posted on the social media websites. They will be happening tomorrow and on Thursday as well. If you need any information or any in-person help, you can always visit us at our technology support desk in the Skyline College Library, 5200, or you can call our direct line at 650-738-4392. Okay, so let's jump right into Canvas. Okay. So I had posted the I had posted the Canvas for Students agenda for this workshop. And just a little background, first off, here at Skyline, we are currently transitioning to go full in for all our classes for Canvas. So at one point we had a partial amount of the classes, and at this point all classes will be switching over. So we want to make sure that all our students are prepared and all our students are ready to use Canvas for their classes. In Canvas, you will see a lot of great features, easy to use. Aesthetically, it looks very easy to use. As you can see, I'm here on my dashboard. For me, a lot of these elements kind of remind me of using like Google apps. The font's nice, it's really simple. There are little widgets and stuff, and we'll go over what some of these do, but they're not too confusing. So the goal is to get comfortable with Canvas and to use the platform freely within your classes. And the objectives for today is that we will navigate the dashboard, learn how to edit profiles, edit notification settings, use discussion boards for online courses, or submit assignments online. So, without further ado, there will be a dashboard like this once you log in. So assuming you've already logged in, for Skyline students, it will be the same credentials as your SMCCD email and the same password. And you want to be careful with logging in and changing your password because it can change your email password as well. Here on the dashboard, you'll see these boxes here. They're called sandboxes. And in each sandbox, you have a course. So you might have a biology course, a history course. Mine look a little different than what yours might look like as students because I have a district guide that was given to me to help for the trainings and things like that. I also have one or two extra ones from some of the previous staff trainings that I've been through. But depending on how many classes you're taking, you'll see those amount of sandboxes in your dashboard. Like any good app or any normal app that you're used to using, the dashboard, or it's mainly it's like a home page, you know? So you can access everything from the dashboard. It's where you go to take a look at your classes, your courses, you have your calendar, you have an inbox, etc. So what are course shells and what do we find inside each one? Let's take a look at my course shell or my sandbox. You'll find inside here assignments, discussions, and sometimes you'll find files as well, such as I'm guessing for many of you taking the first wave of classes that they will have syllabuses already in there. So when you take a look at these, I have created a mock Southeast Asian history course as my sandbox. I don't really teach Southeast Asian history. I'd love to, but for the training purposes, I created some mock or example assignments. So let's take a look here first at one of my assignments. And this one's called Who Built Angkor Wat? So you can see here it's a graded discussion. There's 25 points possible. Of course, again, mine will look a little different than yours, depending on what your teacher is publishing or your professor is publishing. This is more on the instructional side, but it'll look very similar to this. It'll let you know how many points, when it's due, when it was posted. And here I included a video from YouTube, and I also included a small prompt of an assignment, a typical writing assignment. In a minimum of 200 words, please respond to the following questions. So the point of this assignment was to watch the video at home as it would be homework, and then answer the 2 questions thoroughly as a reply. And you can see I did a few already, but let me show you one live. So when you hit reply, you have here the full amount of ways that you can type a response. So you have your bold, italics, underline, setting up the format for how you want your paragraph to be seen. You can actually reply with a photo or with a YouTube video in response if you were asked to do so. You can add tables, you can add links, and also you can add attachments. So depending on what your teacher is asking for, personally, if I was teaching this class, I would want you to respond straight on the discussion board here, so everyone could see it. But you also have that option to attach a file. And we're actually going to be going over that later on in this workshop under part 4, submitting assignments online. So I'll save that for later. So let's go back and take a look at the dashboard. So the dashboard, if you can't find it, it's this canvas tomato icon up here. Okay. So I think we're ready for part 2. Actually, before I move on, I'm just going to check to see if there are any questions in here. Okay. Okay, so no questions. That's fine. Moving on. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is editing our profile and our notification settings. So right here, we're going to click Account, and you'll see here Profile. And for me, as kind of this mock instructor, I have created a whole bio for myself and even a link for myself as a district employee on how you can contact me. This would be the same as like a door card. Many professors have them, where you can find their office phone number or their email or what division they're under. And it's really easy for you to get a hold of them or get in contact with them that way. So of course you don't have to link that, but you may not even have one. But it's good to use some discretion what you're posting on your profile. It's good to not post anything too private or things that you wouldn't want people to find, because remember, Canvas is a network, so you don't want to post anything on here that you wouldn't want others to see. Okay, it's not like a social media account. Under here, you can also store files. So There's different usages for that as well. Let me go back here. There's e-portfolios. I created one when I graduated from SF State. So if you have one to share with professors or classmates, again, there's different functions here on Canvas that you may or may not be using in your classroom. That's pretty much it for the profile. When you're editing it, this is how it looks. You can change the photo. There are some settings you can change up to. This is the area for the bio, any other links you have. So I'm going to go ahead and go back so we can look at our notifications. This is very important. So over here you have a little key, right? So you have at the top the preferences. The check means notify me right away. The clock means send a daily summary. The calendar, send a weekly summary. And the X, do not send me anything. So depending on what you choose is what you will get as an email straight to your SMCCD email or your school email. For myself, I don't like to get too many notifications because I'm often logging into Canvas, so I don't need two. But if you're the type of person that needs extra notifications, needs extra reminders to get things done, like assignments, totally understandable. Canvas can help you with that. What you can do is you can choose for due dates. If you want to switch it, you just click on the icon. So for due dates, you can get a daily summary. Grading policies, you may not need to see that often, or you may not want to see that at all. Or you might want to show your, sorry, for my end, it's showing students. Course content, you might want to see that daily. Files, also daily. You never know if your professor uploads new files. Announcements, notify me right away. That's really important. If class is canceled or you need to bring something extra to class, you'll see there's announcements right in your email box. Grading, I think it's important that you see the information right away. Any invitations as well, like to discussion boards or extra assignments that you see on there. And then the list goes on. It really does. You have discussions, conversations, you have scheduling, you have groups. Alerts, I have them on daily, so I get one email a day. I don't get them in all the time. Conferences, I mean, the list goes on, like I said. That's the great thing about Canvas, and what I like is it's super customizable. There's really no limit with what it can do. This page is really important in case you're the type of person that gets irritated by getting too many notifications. It's good to go edit and figure out what you do want to hear from Canvas about and what you don't want to hear from, okay? So we're gonna move on. As with every section I finish, I'm gonna go back to the YouTube and make sure that there's no questions. Okay.
Ryan, I can also sign in the chat for you and provide some of those questions as they come up as well.
Yeah, that'd be great. I was just looking at that right now. I guess we kind of jumped the gun on that one. Thank you. I
Sure.
appreciate that. Okay, is everything working so far? The connectivity and all that?
Yep, everything looks great.
Okay, sounds great. Okay. Okay, so we're a little ahead of schedule, but I'd like to provide a little extra time in case people out there watching do have questions, especially those of you in the community that are joining us, not from Skyline. Any questions you may have had for me about how I put this together, or what it was like to choose what I wanted to talk about, and what was asked of me to talk about as well, in concern for the students. Okay, so we'll go on to our third part, which is using discussion boards. So go back to our dashboard, and we'll go back to my sandbox, because I'm sure that my sandbox has this ability, which is the discussion. So let's go back to this, the Who Built Angkor Wat one. And once you're in the discussion board, you can reply to individual comments. So let's just say this one was Charlie Brown. And you can reply to Charlie Brown and say, you know, I disagree with you in your comment. Angkor Wat was not built in the year 1200. Archaeological evidence shows it was built in the year 900 AD. So you can actually write that in here. you could see you could actually post a reply. I know it looks a little silly. I'm posting to myself, but it's a nice feature. It kind of works. It reminds me of when you watch YouTube videos and you have commentary on the video, or you leave some kind of comment up there about a song you like or something you're seeing, and you can actually reply back to that person's comment. This can be helpful. It can also be challenging to find where you've replied or who's replied to you. If the person's confused and they're replying to your comment, it may be harder for professors to see that instead of doing your own reply. So I would always do my own reply at the top here, unless you're replying to a specific comment. I'm not sure what types of community folks use the discussion board. What I mean by that is that what I mean by community is I can think of professors that would probably use discussion boards to allow students to comment on each other's responses and give feedback. And it's kind of a lower stakes assignment. So if someone wanted to write LOL, for instance, or say, hey, I really like that, they can write it as a reply. But I can also see that some professors would want to moderate it and be a little more serious about how they're dealing with replies and comments. For instance, like a peer review type of thing. So, you always want to be careful. And as a student, you want to see what the, I want to say it's kind of like the mood of the discussion board, but you want to make sure you're behaving on here obviously appropriately and all that. So, and respectfully, of course. Things can always spin out of control in miscommunication, right? So I was actually going to play a video for, well, we've been showing the video in our live workshops, but I'm not sure if it'll be too quick on Canvas Live. So I think
So one suggestion might be to, if you have the link to the video, I can post it in the chat and then everybody can watch it on their own.
Sure.
I'm not entirely sure that the video will translate well.
Right, me too. Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of thought of that right now. Maybe I should pull it up. Let's see. So I'll get that to you guys right now so everybody has that. Okay. So should I send it over to you, or?
Yeah, if you'd like, maybe explain, sort of summarize what the video is about, and then at the end of the session, we can always link it in the event page so people can participate and follow. Or you can just send it to me as well, and I can post it here.
Okay, sounds great. So we do have this video that was created by our district, San Mateo County Community College District, and they created a great video on how to use discussion boards. I'm sorry,
You can go ahead and minimize that.
Okay.
I'll just get the link right from your page there.
Okay, I think I just sent it into our group chat.
Got it. Perfect.
Okay, got it. Okay, so like I was saying, our district made this great guide of and set of videos, instructional videos on how to navigate things like the discussion board, the dashboard. One of them that I found really helpful was our video in particular on using the discussion board. So I went ahead and sent out that link, so it'll get to all our participants. In the meantime, I'm going to take a look and see if there were any questions about our discussion boards, just to make sure that I'm following up with you guys and kind of staying on task here. Okay. So if there's no questions, I'm going to go ahead to our fourth and final part, which seems really simple, but you know, in a sense, it's it can be a little trickier, and there's a couple things going on here. Is that when you are submitting some assignments online, for instance, you might see it this way: please upload your final draft as either a doc or PDF format. So, and it might be 100 points. It might be, you know, you have finals coming up. You might see this, midterms, anything really, take-home assignments. So I'll go ahead and go back to my original good old discussion, because I knew that in here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and log out. I want to show you guys on the student side how this looks when it comes to submitting an assignment. Let me get over there.
In the meantime, as Ryan is getting over there, if you have any questions for Ryan, the chat is available and open. Feel free to post your questions there, and we'll make sure he addresses them.
Okay, so I'm in the student side of this, which I just gained access to, and to be honest, I knew that on my side, as the administrative side, I had a little more freedom on what I can show you guys. So that's why I chose to do the workshop on my side. I know you're probably wondering, why didn't he just use the mock student account? That's because I'm not quite sure what capabilities I had and didn't have, and so I didn't want to get stuck with anything. But I do want to show you how submitting an assignment looks on the student side. So for all our Skyline students, you'll see here that this is a Bugs Bunny account. That's a Bugs Bunny student in my class, Southeast Asian History, under Professor Sam. And let's go ahead and go to Lao History number 1. So it's not asking you to do anything here. It's just asking to submit the actual essay. Not asking you to watch a video, not asking you to put any text on any boxes here or any responses. You just go ahead and go to Submit Assignment. And like everything else, you'll want to choose from a source that works, right? So for instance, you might not see it on your desktop, but I have it on my flash drive. And I'm saying it that way because on our school computers, we don't have you can't save files overnight, say, so you don't want to type your essay, leave it there, and then try to go back the next day and upload it. You want to always make sure you're saving it on a flash drive. I think it's easier. In my case, I had my English essay here on a flash drive. Choose, and then go ahead and click Submit Assignment. And there you go. You can actually resubmit an assignment. I'm sure that on the professor side, they'll see when you resubmitted something instead. At some point when this is due, the assignment does close and you are no longer able to submit anything. You do have the option for Google Docs and Google Drive if you want to authorize your actual Google Drive account to link up with your Canvas account. And it might be easier, which is good. I like that feature. It works for all our Skyline students because your SMCCD email does fit with the, it does link to a Google account. So you do have that option. For me though, I don't like looking through a giant drive full for the wrong thing and I might submit it. So I think it's easier to just do a file upload than you're sure what you're choosing. Regarding file types, it's pretty basic knowledge, but what is appropriate and what is not, it depends on what the professor's asking for, so you want to pay attention to that first off. Personally, I don't think submitting a PDF for an essay per se is the right thing to do because if the professor wanted to edit it, they have no way of going in and actually writing on the text or going through it that way, but a doc you can, obviously. So just one of those helpful tips for my Skyline students. I'm an English nerd, so I'm always kind of sensitive to what goes on in English classrooms and all that.
Actually, Ryan, I can add to that a little bit. I think
Sure.
depending on the instructor, I believe there are some annotation tools in the back end of Canvas when a teacher grades. And so
Nice.
a PDF is equally, I believe, acceptable as a doc in terms of being able to comment and add annotations on top of the document if they wanted to go that route. So that option is available for instructors as well.
That's awesome. And I knew that for PDFs there actually at Hi, B-Ray.
Hi, we can still see you.
Okay.
Go ahead and share your screen and we'll pick up from where we left off.
Okay, got it. Do you happen to remember where I had what I was saying last?
Yeah,
Before I left
I
off?
believe we were just talking about assignment submissions.
Okay. So I was just letting students know that the most important thing. Oh, can you guys see my screen or?
Yes, we can.
Okay, got it. So I was just letting students know that really with submitting assignments, it's really up to your professor what format they want your doc or your assignment. I know there's a ton of different things that you might be submitting as an assignment. It's not just an essay. It might be a JPEG. It might be a PNG. There's different versions. So just be very mindful of what you're uploading and make sure that it's the right thing. Always check your prompt instructions. Just some friendly tips for our students as they're getting ready to submit assignments on Canvas. What I was showing though is that you do have the option to re-download what you did submit. again, like I was saying before I got disconnected, it has a timestamp, so a due date that it was supposed to be due by, and then when you submitted it and when it's available till, how many points you're getting for that assignment. So it has a lot of features here. It's not your traditional just handing the paper in and maybe feeling a little lost after. Canvas is really, really, really modern in the sense that you have everything timestamped and everything is accounted for here online. So as I was saying before I got disconnected, I'm going to go ahead and close this out by asking you guys if there were any other areas that we discussed that you still feel confused about or find difficulty in. Feel free to type to me on the live chat. Again, I know there's a couple of community members out there that were watching this, getting some ideas of how they're going to connect and to their students or conduct workshops for their students on their campuses, etc. So feel free to start a dialogue with me. I'll be here for the next 20 minutes. And I thank you guys all for tuning in and listening, and appreciate it. Good luck if you're working on finals, and good luck to you if you're going to be starting the summer session soon.
Thanks, Ryan. We'll hold off a little bit for questions as they come in, and if not, we'll go ahead and wrap up the session.
Sounds great. Thanks for all your help.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Just a quick question for you. Do you know for students when their courses will be accessible? After they get enrolled in a course, is there a time that that course will be available for them to view? Is it the week before, the day of? What do you know?
No, I don't have that information. I don't want to respond something incorrect, so that is something that's helpful to know, though. I should look into that. But I do know that, you know, many of the professors are already using Canvas on campus. So more than half of them already have things set up for them. It's just really now the rest of them that are transitioning over. And like the other day I had a workshop and one student is taking 3 classes here and she doesn't have, not one of those 3 professors is using Canvas yet. But yet I had another student who had 5 professors taking a full load and all 5 of them use Canvas even for a lab. So hello, B-Ray?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I don't know why it keeps doing that. It'll go in and out.
Yeah, I'm not sure entirely either, but I think we're good.
Okay.
I don't see any additional questions coming in, but I put the link to the event page, so if people do have questions, they can always ask them there, or they can contact you directly with that information. If you want to pull up your contact information one more time on the slide deck, that would be great.
Sure.
And we can go from there.
Let me pull that up. I'm sorry. And B-Ray,
Yes.
are you able to edit out some of these awkward pauses and all that for this
Sure.
recording?
Yeah.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you. Like when it showed my email and all that. I'm so sorry about all that.
Nope, that's totally fine. It's just the nature of a online sort of demo. It's okay.
Right. Okay, sounds good.
We can post all that information. It's already on the event page as well. If you want, we can just, if you have your webcam on, we can just sort of close out the session, and if anybody else has questions, they know where to contact you.
Okay, sounds great. Yeah, I'll go ahead and close this out then. Thank you, everybody, and I really appreciate it. And thank you, B-Ray, for all your help.